Today is the 28th day of the month of Kislev, the 4th day of Chanukah. We are in the middle of chapter 32 discussing taking care of one's body. Today we'll be doing paragraphs 19 through 22. Again, like I mentioned the past couple of days, we're going through medical advice over here, so I'm mentioning things that I believe medical science agrees to in our generation in the 21st century. We're skipping paragraphs or lines that the Kislev mentions that are based upon the medical understanding of the 19th century, which is not agreed upon by today's medical world. And as always, make sure that you consult with a medical professional instead of just relying upon what the Kislev is saying. Paragraph 19. This thing which we mentioned earlier, a few paragraphs back, that if a person is not hungry, they shouldn't be eating. Interestingly, he says this about drinking as well, but I have personally heard from medical professionals that one should drink even if they're not thirsty. I recommend speaking to your doctor or a dietitian for more details. Paragraph 1. If a person has to go to the bathroom, then they don't have to go necessarily the first second they feel an urge to go, but one should make sure to not hold it in because that could be harmful. Paragraph 21. As your doctor and your spouse might tell you, exercise is healthy for all of us. How much exercise? So the Kislev, following his general guideline, is like everything else that's good or bad, the key is moderation. Not exercising at all could be dangerous or unhealthy at least, and extreme exercise, if our body's not up to at least, could be dangerous as well. Something else they mentioned, which is interesting that they already were aware of this back in the 19th century, is that someone who's overweight needs more exercise than somebody who is not. Paragraph 22. Says the Kislev, something that medical science definitely agrees to nowadays, is that not only do we have to be careful about our physical health, we also have to be careful about our emotional health, our psychological health. He specifically mentions 4 emotions that he says we have to take extra note of. The first one is our happiness level. Number 2 is anxiety. Number 3 is anger. And number 4 is fear. He says these 4 emotions, for better or for worse, could affect how we're doing, could affect our health even physically in tremendous ways. We have to make sure, obviously, happiness is a positive thing, but he says being too overjoyous all the time also could be negative. But if we're too anxious, if we are too depressed, that's also bad, obviously. Having that balance of being joyful but being level-headed is very important. As we all know, anger and fear could also affect us physically, and we have to make sure that we're working on our emotional health as well as our physical health. This concludes today's episode. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the 4th day of Chanukah.